Mike, suspension delivered. How does your club regroup for the obvious challenge ahead of you?
Well, I mean, we expected, obviously a game out of it, and so we started with that yesterday. I mean, the adversity facing the playoffs, we're going to have a long run, is always there, and there's not much you can do about it. So let's just get on with it, and we went without a number of centers this year. Let's play.
You mentioned you expected a game. Were you surprised that it was 3?
Yeah, for sure.
Naz said he was basically, sounded like he was saying he was coming to Mitch's defense because he thought that Ringo's had his way with him. Would you prefer your guys not maybe use their bodies that way, but...
Well, I prefer that didn't happen, that he wasn't suspended. How's that? Okay, what's next?
A galvanizing thing for the group?
Yeah.
Is that your hope?
I mean, we're playing game 2 to here today, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
So what's the strategy then tonight with the changes and with what happened on Thursday?
Well, we weren't good enough, but I think it's real easy to always, in hindsight, like with 4:25 left, the game was 1-1. We had just played a real good second period, and then we were shorthanded. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 11 of the next 24 minutes or something like that. Number one, let's be disciplined. You can't be in the box. Number two, our compete level right through our group. You got to have everybody. So competitiveness on the puck, winning 50-50 battles, races, wall battles, net battles. That's got to be our priority, and that's how we get ourselves playing right.
What do you think Andreas will bring to the game tonight?
Well, he's got good speed, good skill. Ideally he saw the game the other night, and so now has a handle of what's going on and how competitive you have to be at playoff time to be a good player.
Yesterday with Leo up there with Austin and Patrick in the middle, what to expect tonight as far as lines?
Well, that's how we're going to warm up. Yep.
Austin, Mitch, and Willie, how do they play through the extra tension they've obviously received in Game 1, Mike?
Well, all good players receive attention. So what you got to do is you got to compete, and so you got to dig in and compete. And I think, when you get lots of attention in life, it's usually because you've done something. I always like getting attention for being good. I think that's their priority. So if they're good and they just do what they normally do, they'll be fine. We got to dig in. That's it.
How much of the improvement do you see just in terms of intensity and competitiveness?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the game.
One of the things you do really well is balance your lines. You balance the minutes. You even things out. You rest your guys. You didn't overuse guys in the regular season.
Yeah.
Would you be more likely to start using guys more? The guys that are going in the game and get the minutes up if they're...
Well, the guys that were going in the game, like if we're going off that, I think she's fine. But the biggest thing, if you're short-handed as much as we were, the guys that don't penalty kill are never getting any minutes. I mean, you're down to no minutes to play, and so obviously it'll depend on the game and it'll depend on who's playing good. But that would be great.
Well, Janssen takes Kadri's spot on that power play unit?
You bet, to start anyway.
What did you like about the way you saw in the games when he was on the other unit?
Yeah, he was skilled. He was tenacious. Their power play, I don't know if you noticed, as soon as he went on it got better. Yeah. And so that was a positive thing. I just think that his skill set and his hockey IQ leads to him being successful in that area.
Where's the room for improvement on the penalty kill?
Well, there's lots of room. I think, obviously, coaches called the one offside. It was offside, so that's one. Okay, the other one, we had a 2-on-2 down low. We weren't even outnumbered. They passed it by us, and then the third one was, you saw it. So I just think the biggest thing is our penalty kill wasn't as good at the end of the year, partly because of the people that were in and out of the lineup. But we've had a real good penalty kill all year. I don't think you want to base your confidence on one game. So I talk to the guys. You play well all year to know how good you are. So you lose games during the year, you just bounce back. That's what we're going to do here tonight.
With a week off between games, what should Kadri be doing? What should he prioritize with the time?
Well, it's not. We'll make sure he's looked after.
You're a runner, Mike. What's it like to be here on Marathon Weekend?
Well, I thought it was impressive yesterday. There was people all over. It's unbelievable, and it's jamming up at our hotel. But there was a guy when I was sitting at the oyster bar there having an oyster. There was a guy telling me that he was going to run it in 2:50, and a lady saying she was going to run it in 3:50, and that sounds fast to me.